Hello, my NotePlan friends. I'm Jonathan Clark, and I'm looking today at the Tidy Up plugin, which I've written with some excellent help from David Wertheimer. It's been keeping NotePlan clean and organized since the beginning of 2023. But perhaps not everybody knows about it, so I'm going to explain how it can help you find problems, clean up notes, tidy things away, and do a few other things. So I'm going to look at it briefly and run these things through. So here's my NotePlan, and here's what we're going to look at this morning. I want to start by saying that it's probably most useful for people who've been using NotePlan for a little while. If you've only got a few notes in the system, then you probably don't need what this can do. But by the time you've got hundreds, or as some of us do, thousands of notes in NotePlan, then having something like this can be very helpful. So first, it can help find problems. Quickly find duplicate notes, notes with edit conflicts, and broken wiki links. So let's show an example of that. So I'm going to usually bring it up with the command bar. As usual, you start by typing something, and they all have got tidy in the name. So here we can see all of the different things that we have. And I'm going to just, let's start by listing duplicate notes. Now I've got several thousand notes in the system, so it's taken a few seconds to run. But what it does is then simply create a new note, just called duplicate notes, and it says it's found 7 duplicate notes, or potential ones anyway. So they're the ones with the same title, and some of this is deliberate for my testing, but here are some things which are not deliberate. So that was the deliberate one. But for example, for each one, I then get shown what the 2 different notes are, what the folder is, so that one's in CCC areas and this one's in the archive, and then I get an option to open the note on both of them or delete the note in both of them. And it gives me some more details, 19 lines in that one, 19 lines in this one, and 23 characters. Only 2.5% of the characters are different between the two. As I can see, I've already archived this one. I'm not going to even open it. I'm just going to say I'm going to delete that note. And in the background, that has been deleted. So if I run this again, so almost all of these have got a little click to refresh link that appears at the top. So just running that again. And now indeed, it's found 6 potential duplicates, and that one at the bottom has gone. So that's duplicate notes. Let's also try running list missing daily notes. This is one that's been added recently for a user. No missing daily notes found. So that's gone back over the last 365 days, and I haven't got any missing notes in that time. Something that has been in the plugin for a longer time is find stubs, list stubs. So let's just start that running. And what this is, you can link between notes with the double bracket notation. And sometimes you create that and then don't get around to making the note that it links to, or occasionally, particularly in the past, sometimes if you change the name of a note, NotePlan normally does catch it up and rename all the links to it, but sometimes something has gone wrong. And so here's a list of the different stubs that are in mine. Now, I've got a lot of them, again, because I do a lot of testing and push things and make things go wrong deliberately. But again, it just allows me to open the note, and it's saying in here, in this particular note called Advent Resources and Ideas, I've got a link to something called the Advent Present, and something is wrong in there. So if I open up the note, I can then find it in here and then fix the link or delete it, which is sometimes the more appropriate thing to do. So that's wiki link stubs. Now let's think about cleaning up notes. So here on my overview, I've shown that it can help you remove blank notes, orphan single lines, and a range of other things. So for the first one that I'm going to show you is how to remove empty elements. Now, this is my note for today, and I'm on holiday, so actually all my ministry stuff isn't going to happen. And in fact, I'm going to take those two things away, which are standing things which I would do every day that I'm working. But here is some blank sections. And in fact, I'm going to add some extra lines of things. And then I'm going to run the remove, I can't even find it now, remove empty elements. And then it has done that. It has taken away some of the blank lines, just leaving one, and it's taken away the empty sections. And it hasn't removed the one at the top, so I must clearly work on that plugin a little bit more. So that removes some empty elements in Notes, and it's particularly good if you pasted a lot of text in from, say, a web page that you've had and it's got lots of extra blank lines in it. You can also set it through the settings. So let's look at the settings for this plugin. Scroll down to the bottom, Tidy Up plugin, click on the little cog wheel, and here are the different settings for this plugin. And here's remove empty elements, command settings. Simply strip all empty lines. So if you're just trying to tidy up something that's coming from the web, then you might want to turn that on. Come back to that. Removing blank notes. Again, sometimes it is possible to land up with blank notes for different reasons. So let's try that and see what happens. And there's the helpful sign. Actually, I haven't got any blank notes in the system at the moment, but that little note that if you're using team spaces, then the API doesn't allow notes to be removed by plugins. Okay, so that's good news. And you can see the other remove things that can happen. Remove section from recent notes is something I'm going to come back to when I look at the templates. Now, I said that we'd come back to the settings screen. So far, I've shown you ways of running each of the commands individually. There's also a way, I'm going to show you through the tidy up. If I scroll down toward the end, there's a single command just called tidy up, and that allows you to run some or all of the more detailed commands. So here I've configured which ones I want to run through that command. So, and I can choose to run it silently, so that might be helpful if you just want to run it from a template or something, just run it in the background, and it will log what's going on, but it won't show you anything on the screen. So here are the ones that I would typically use that I can run. Because I use the repeat extensions plugin, I keep these two turned off because they are needed in order to make the repeat extensions work. So you might want to try that, and then you can then simply run tidy up, that first one that gets listed there. So we are finding blank notes. Remove 25 orphaned block IDs. Yes, please. I want to remove those because there's no point in having a block ID without something that is pointing to. And it's checking some other things. Oh, there's one conflicted note, so I will have to come back and look at that later. You can see this is letting me know what's going on as it runs. It's removed no triggers from calendar notes. That's good, etc. So let me close some of those off. Bring that into view. So as well as being able to run it through the command bar or the plugin menu, as well, and running through tidy up, you can also run it from a template. Now then, they're not straightforward to write, but if you are writing templates, then here's an example that I have. In fact, so at the end of the day, I run tidy up, and that template does these different things. And you can see here the tidy plugin, and there's the formal name of it that's sitting under the plugin system. And so in the template, invoke a plugin command by name, and then I give it the name, remove time parts from done dates and things. So the different things that can run. And then some of the parameters that I can send with it. Now, you're better off creating them using the link creator plugin, which has these different things. And here is the get callback URL, run a plugin command, and then in this case I would hunt for tidy. So if I wanted to remove all empty elements, I don't need to see that. If I don't want to run it without any particular parameters, then there's the URL. So I would then add that. I want to show it that way. There it is. There's the URL that I'd be putting into something.